Welcome back, learners, to our interesting course based on the theme Rudimentary Principles and Practices of Managerial Economics. In the last session, we talked about method of pricing on the basis of cost, and in this module 7, lecture number 35, we'll be talking of method of pricing on the basis of market condition. So initially in the last lecture we talked on the basis of cost, and now we'll be talking about on the basis of market condition. So as you are able to see on the screen, the different methods based on market condition. The first one being skimmed price policy, the penetration price policy, product line policy, administered prices, going rate pricing, leadership pricing, and discriminating pricing policy. I want to mention that mostly the penetration price policy and skimming price policy is for new products, and the other one are for normal or the continued products. So one by one we'll be considering all these methods, and with the example we'll be trying to make you understand. In the new products, as you are able to see, it is penetration price policy and skimmed price policy. So first, skimmed price policy or high price policy. Skimmed price policy, often termed as cream policy, is a strategic pricing method for new products. This is an important point to be remembered. Utilized or used by businesses to optimize profitability by initially targeting high margin customers or market segments. This approach involves setting premium prices to attract early adopters or less sensitive consumers who value unique products, features, or superior quality. Over the time, prices are gradually lowered or decreased to penetrate broader market segments and capture additional market share, which means in this skimmed price policy, initially the prices are kept higher and the price is gradually decreased. For example, if we talk about Apple iPhone series, initially when the phone is launched, the prices are kept comparatively high, and after a point of time when the new series is launched, the earlier ones prices are reduced. So in skimmed price policy, in the initial phase, the target is on the premium customers. They try to generate profit from the premium customers, and gradually they reduce the prices and open it for normal customers. So this is the basic concept of skimmed price policy. It is also known as the cream policy, and it is mostly for the new products in the market. Preconditions for skimmed price policy is that product differentiation, first aspect. Product or services should be distinctive or have different feature or a special feature or innovation that justify premium pricing. The second condition is that market segmentation opportunities should be there. The businesses must identify and target high margin segments first before expanding into price sensitive segments, which means a proper segmentation is required in this, and accordingly the people who are having more income should be focused in the initial phase and then transferred to the other group of people. The third one being limited competition or barriers of entry. Skimming pricing strategy is more effective in market with limited competition or high barriers to entry, which means here it can be the precondition is that limited competition must exist and barriers to entry must be there. The next precondition is that technological advancement or innovation must exist. The skimming price policy is often associated with products leveraging new technologies or innovative features, which means the product used here should be technologically advanced or should be innovative in nature. The next point being ability to lower cost over time, which means the sustainable skimmed price policy requires the capacity to lower production cost or achieve economies of scale as prices are gradually reduced. So another precondition is that ability to lower cost over time. So as all the preconditions, the first is product differentiation. Your product should be different from other products and it should have distinctive features or new features, or it should be innovative in nature. The second is that market segmentation opportunities. The market shall be segmented and accordingly it should be focused. Limited competition must exist or barriers to entry. Technological advancement or innovation must be there in the product and the firm. And the last, ability to lower cost over time. Moving ahead to the next pricing policy, that is penetration price policy or low price policy. In penetration price policy, which is also termed as market penetration pricing, is a strategic pricing approach for new products. This is also for new product, and skimming was also for new product, utilized by businesses or used by businesses to gain market share by setting initially lower prices for products and services, which means in this penetration pricing policy, initially the prices are kept lower. So in this penetration price policy, initially the price is kept comparatively low and gradually it is increased. This strategy aims to attract price sensitive consumers who are very price sensitive or quickly capture a significant portion of the market or to adopt to the market. As the name suggests, penetration pricing involves penetrating the market deeply with competitive pricing to establish a strong presence and competitive advantage, which means if you keep the price low, it is easier to penetrate or to enter into the market and to have a good command on the market or to have a good market share. Over the period of time, prices may be adjusted upwards as the market share increases, economies of scale are realized, which means after a point of time, when you are able to capture the market, you can increase the price of your specific product. So in this penetration price policy, in the initial phase, the price was kept low and gradually after a point of time, the price was increased. The preconditions for penetration price policy. The first condition is that you must be having a clear understanding of target market segment and their price sensitivity, which means you need to understand in what form the market has been segmented and accordingly you need to price your product. The second is that ability to sustain initial low prices while covering the costs which have been involved and maintaining profitability, which means initially also when you have kept the price low, you must be able to cover your cost and maintain profitability. If you are not maintaining profitability, in the long run you will not be able to sustain in the market. The third precondition is that flexibility to adjust prices over time based on market dynamics, competitive pressures and cost considerations, which means your product, your firm should be flexible enough to adapt to the market changes, the competition and the cost considerations in the market. The fourth point is that readiness to invest in marketing and promotional activities. This is also a very important point, that the firm must be ready to invest or to put capital in the field of marketing and promotional activities to raise awareness and stimulate demand in the market, which means the customer must be aware and the demand must be increasing because of marketing or promotional activities. The next point is confidence in the product's value proposition and ability to compete effectively on factors other than price once market share is established, which means your product should be having value in the market so that it can sustain in the market, and after period of time when the price is even increased, it can sustain in the longer duration for the market. So the preconditions we have discussed with you, that you must be having clear understanding of the market, you must be able to sustain with the lower prices, you must be flexible enough, you must be investing in marketing and promotional activities, your product shall be having a good value for the customers. Now the leadership price policy. The leadership pricing, also known as price leadership, is a strategic pricing tactic employed by a dominant firm in an industry to set prices that competitors typically follow, which means when few organizations simply they adopt the prices of the leaders of the market. They don't consider any cost or any market structure, they simply adopt the prices being fixed by the leaders of the market. In this approach, the leading firm establishes itself as the price leader, with other companies or entities adjusting their price in response to maintain competitiveness or avoid losing market share, which, as I have discussed, that the leader fixes the price and the other players adopt the prices of the leader so that they can have an edge in the competition and even they can sustain in the market. The leadership pricing is often associated with firms that have significant market power, strong brand recognition, or technological superiority, allowing them to influence market prices and shape industry dynamics, which means the leaders must be technologically sound, they must have a good impact on the market, and they must be understanding the dynamics of the market. Now, the preconditions for implementing leadership price policy. The first condition is that market dominance or significant market share. The leading firm or the important firm must have a substantial presence in the market. It should be having a good share in the market, giving it the ability to influence the industry prices and set the standard for the competitors or the other players of the market, which means the very basic condition here is that the company who is a leader should be dominant in the market and must have influence in the industry of that specific product. The second is that brand strength and customer loyalty. Strong brand recognition and customer loyalty enhance the leading firm's ability to command higher prices and maintain its position as the price leader, which means the leader price company should be having brand strength as well as it should be having good amount of loyal customers towards its name. The third point being cost leadership or efficiency advantage. The leading or the leader firm must have cost advantage or operational efficiency that enables it to offer competitive prices while still achieving profitability, which means the leadership brands or the companies having efficiency advantage, which means their cost understanding should be good, their efficiency should be good, so that they can perform in a good way in the competitive market. So the three preconditions for implementing leadership price policy is that the dominance should be there, the second, the brand strength and loyalty should be there, and third, cost leadership or efficiency advantage should be there. The next precondition for it is that industry stability and predictability must be there. The leadership pricing is more effective in industries with stable market conditions. If the market is not stable, it will be a problem for such kind of industries. And predictable demand, which means you are able to predict the demand where competitors are likely to follow pricing cues from the market leader, which means it can be adopted in those situations where the industry is stable in nature as well as the demand can be predicted in pre-hand. The next point is that legal and regulatory compliances. The leading firm or the major firm or the important firm must ensure that its pricing practices comply with antitrust law and regulations governing pricing behavior to avoid accusations of anti-competitive behavior or predatory pricing, which means the leading firm must be having such a price that it follows the legal aspect, the regulatory aspect. So overall, we have discussed 5 preconditions. The first was market dominance, brand strength and loyalty, cost leadership or efficiency advantage, and now we discussed industry stability and predictability, and last, legal and regulatory compliance. So overall, leadership pricing requires a combination of market power, brand strength, operational efficiency and strategic positioning to effectively influence industry prices and maintain a dominant position in the market. So all these are predetermines which needs to be considered in the leadership pricing method. Now moving to the next method, that is discriminating pricing policy. The discriminating pricing policy, also known as price discrimination, is a strategy where business sets different prices for the same product or service based on various factors such as customer demographic, purchasing behavior, location or time of purchase, which means here different prices are set for different consumers or customers based on factors such as customer demographic, purchasing behavior, location or time of purchase. The goal here of discriminating pricing is to capture additional consumer surplus and maximize revenue by charging different prices to different consumers. The prices are not fixed here. The different prices are charged from different consumers or customers segments according to their willingness to pay, according to their adaptability to pay. This pricing strategy allows businesses to extract more value from customers who are willing to pay higher prices while even attracting price sensitive customers with lower prices. So, in this discriminating price policy, different prices are charged from different customers, and the customers who are ready to pay higher prices are charged with higher prices, and the customers who are ready to pay lower prices are charged with lower prices. So, all the segments of the market are covered here. In discriminating pricing can take various forms, including first degree price discrimination, that is charging each customer the maximum price they are willing to pay. The second degree price discrimination, offering price tiers or volume discounts. And in the third degree price discrimination, segmenting customer based on observable characteristics and offering different prices to each segments. So, as you are able to see here, it has been divided in 3 degrees. In the first, each customer maximum prices they are willing to pay. In the second, offering pricing tiers or volume discounts, and in the third one, segmenting market customers based on observable characteristics and offering different prices to each segment of the market. So, overall, discriminating pricing policy enables businesses to optimize prices and revenue by tailoring prices strategies to different market segments, which means here it is not only focusing on few segments as it was focusing on other pricing policies. Here it is focusing on all the market segments, and according to the market segments the price are fixed and the customer or consumers are served. Now, the guidelines for price fixation under discriminative pricing policy. The first important guidelines is that the market segmentation shall be there. Identify distinct customer segments with varying price sensitivity, preference or characteristics, which means the market should be segmented based on different demographic structures. The second requirement is that price discrimination mechanisms employ appropriate price mechanisms to differentiate price across different segments. The third being information collection and analysis, gather data on customer preferences, behavior and willingness to pay the set price. The fourth is legal and ethical compliance, ensure that price discrimination practice comply with the antitrust laws and ethical standards. The fifth being cost analysis, conduct cost analysis to determine pricing thresholds and profitability implications for each segment. And last, flexibility and adaptability, maintain flexibility to adjust prices in response to the market changes, competitive dynamics and customer feedbacks. So, simply you must be having segmentation of the market, you must be having mechanism for price discrimination. According to the segmentation, you should be having proper collection and analysis of the data, you should be having good legal and ethical understanding, you must be having cost analysis, as well as the flexibility and adaptability function must be there. Now, moving to the next point, the next pricing policy, that is sealed bid pricing policy. In this method of pricing, price is determined on the basis of price quoted by the competitive firms and not on cost, which means whatever the competitive firms have quoted prices, according to that you need to understand or determine your cost and not on the cost which have been incurred in the firm, demand or any other factor, which means here the price is based on the price quoted by competitive firms and not on cost, demand or any other relevant factor. The firm makes assumption about the price being quoted by their competitors and they quote their prices below it. This is very important. They consider the prices of the competitor and they finally quote a price which is below their competitors so that their tender may be opted. It is mostly used in the field of tender business. So this sealed bid pricing policy is mostly for tender business. Here they try to understand the price being quoted by the competitive firms and finally they fix a price which is lower as compared to their competitors. So if their prices are lower, there are more chances of acceptability of the tender. So it is mostly used in the tender business. Next is product line pricing. The product line basically refers to group of physically similar group or dissimilar products being produced and marketed by the firm. In the current business era, most of the firm produce multiple products. So according to the multiple products, you should be having the cost. Product line pricing refers to the issue of determining proper relationship among the prices of the member of the product group, which means whatever products you are producing, you should be having a prices of it accordingly. So that is the meaning of product line pricing. Next is going rate pricing. This is the type of pricing which is competition based. Again, this is an important method which is based on competition. In this method, the average price of the industry is accepted by the firm for it. Whatever the average price is existing, it is accepted by the industry or the firm. In going rate pricing policy, the firm tries to adjust its price in time with general pricing structure, which means the general pricing structure is kept at the center point and the rest is focused on this of the market or the industry. So here in going rate pricing, the average is considered very relevant and the general pricing structure is considered at the center point. Firms adjust its price according to the general pricing structure. It is adopted in the cases when the price leadership of dominant firm, and second, cost ascertaining is difficult, and third, when the firm wants to avoid issues of price rivalry in the market. So it can be adopted or implemented in the cases when price leadership of dominant firm is there, most cost ascertaining is comparatively difficult, and when the firm wants to avoid any issue of price rivalry in the market. Finally, administered prices. These are prices being fixed by government here. The prices are normally fixed here by government. These are basically set on the basis of cost plus stipulated margin of profit, as we have discussed in the initial PPTs. The basic characteristic of it is as follows. These are statutory, means legally forced by the government. They are regulatory in nature, which means it is regulated by the government, and prices of certain goods such as steel, aluminum, fertilizers, etc. are fixed by government. So in administered prices, the prices are fixed by government of products such as steel, aluminum, fertilizers, etc. So these were different kind of prices on the basis of market conditions. I discussed all with you one by one. I discussed first of all I discussed with you the skimmed price policy and the penetration price policy, and this was basically for new products. And then I discussed with you the leadership pricing, going rate pricing, administered prices and product line pricing, sealed bid pricing policy and discriminative pricing policy. First I discussed with you the skimmed price policy, in which the prices are kept higher and gradually with time the prices are decreased. This is mostly for the new product. I discussed with you the preconditions. Then I discussed with you the penetration price policy, in which initially the prices are kept lower and afterwards it is increased. This is also for new products. I discussed with you all the preconditions for it. Then I talked with you the leadership price policy, in which the prices are adopted from the leader of the industry, and the other factors are not given much relevance here. I discussed with you the preconditions here. All the 5 I discussed with you. Then I talked about the discriminating price policy, in which different prices are charged from different consumers or customers. I discussed the degree with you, all the 3 degrees. Then I discussed with you the guidelines for price fixation under discriminating price policy. Then I talked with you the sealed bid pricing policy, where the price is fixed on the basis of competitors' bid. The firm normally keeps a price below the competitor's bid so that their bid can be accepted, and it is mostly used for tender business. Then I discussed with you the product line pricing, the ways of product line pricing. I discussed with you the going rate pricing, where pricing is based on the average pricing of the industry. Finally, I discussed with you the administered prices, where prices are fixed by the government, especially in the certain goods such as steel, aluminum, fertilizers, etc. So, in this lecture, we try to discuss the cost methods based on the basis of market. I tried to discuss with you the cost on the basis of new products, on the basis of existing products. In the previous lecture, we talked about pricing on the basis of cost. So, in whole series of this cost, I tried to discuss with you all the relevant concepts of cost. I hope it will be of use for the firm, and the cost is a very important component for any firm. If the cost is reduced, automatically the revenue or the profit of the firm will increase. So, I hope this will be a good tool for understanding and implementing in the organizations for economists and managerial economists, and it will be beneficial for them. Thank you, learners, for patiently listening to our lecture. Hope to meet in the upcoming lectures. Thank you.